in the Texas wrestling scene. This year's honorees include Jeromy Sage, Jeromy is the inaugural RCW Champion and the most educated man in professional wrestling. We're also honoring Marrozos. Alex is the former RCW head official and a guiding influence for referees all across the state of Texas. Today we honor Michael Faith. The former RCW Champion and Tag Team Champion, honored posthumously after passing in 2020. We also are here to honor my friend Kyra Maya, Sheeva, former RCW Phoenix Champion and Tag Team Champion, who, with Michael Faith, formed a formidable duo in and out the ring. Last but definitely not least, the Fan Appreciation Award goes to Tommy Wesley. Whose voice is iconic to both fans and wrestlers in San Antonio. To their dedication and passion. Before we begin, I would like to thank Raul and Donna with Raul Sports and Collectibles for hosting this event and being such an important partner in this event. We greatly appreciate your unwavering support throughout all of these years, and let's hear it for all the nominees and Raul Sports Collectibles. To kick off this special evening, I invite Ray Akins, better known to fans as Ray the Voice. He is RCW's first ring announcer for our first induction.
First off, thank you, Ms. Caroline. We appreciate you for that. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, honored inductees, my privilege to stand before you on such an extraordinary occasion. Tonight we celebrate the contributions of my great friend, Jeromy Sage. I first off want to say, Brandon, thank you. Returned to RCW, this was home way back. Always love it, brother. It was a testament to everybody here what RCW knows. Thank you for returning. Secondly, I was very humbled and chosen by the man himself, Jeromy Sage. I'm sitting in Alabama, phone rings. I know this number, I know the name. Hey bro, what's up man? So I figured we were something maybe, something going on. He goes, hey, what are you doing on weekend? I don't know, what am I doing? He says, I need you to do something. And I said, what? He said, I need you to do that into RCW Honors. Wow. That hit me like a left hook. Really did. First and foremost, for the original RCW. Second foremost, for the man who's been my friend since the day wrestling started. Friend. And as you go through this, you'll start hearing a lot about Jeromy, and I'm going to go way back for him. Jeromy, you'll hear a lot of things as the first of, the original testimony of age, or something on, huh? So let's go back, way back to a place called Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy. Where you walk those square, broken steps into that amazing broken window pigeon poop building. Yes, they trained in it. And as they're coming up for the original class, the first class of the Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy, they're all coming up in, and as you look over, one guy stood out. He definitely stood out. Oh, he wasn't the biggest. Didn't look the fastest. Definitely didn't look the tallest. But he was the whitest wrestler we ever had. The pastiest person we've seen ever walk in. The next thing that worries is kissing athlete. We don't know. There was many weeks ahead. But as he started noticing something about him. Wait, he is an athlete. He does have that work ethic, that drive, the situation that makes every one of you that went through the same thing understand what it's like to complete. And he completed, and if we go back to it, the original and one of the first ever graduates of Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy. Those that came after know. There's another original for him. It's very blessing for him. So, as we started working through this, he gets done with the school, gets the chance to run on the road. He's running for Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy organization. TV shows up. He's on TV. They bring him out in one of the most beautiful, fluffy white shirts you've ever seen. Some days you didn't know if you had it on or not. It was pretty white. Him and a tag team partner, Cruz Bellas, made another first, but if I'm right, they were the first students to have a tag team championship. So he stepped into another original first. Then he went on, started traveling the road, Dallas, Rio Grande Valley, over and over. Then he started becoming more than just a student of Shawn Michaels or a wrestler. He started becoming one of the first folks out of that academy who started becoming a leader. A guy that can help you, teach you, talk to you on the roads, back and forth, multiple days and nights, every weekend. Why the whole time? Get an education. That moniker, the most educated man in wrestling, doesn't stick because he made it. It stuck because he was taking full-time student work and going to college to succeed as he was doing the wrestling. So the hats go off to that moniker. The most educated man in professional wrestling. Okay, I'll go back to a day on a place called WCW Worldwide. Y'all remember that? He wrestled the most famous Disco Inferno. What a match. In the words of Conan said that day, this kid's trying to make a name for himself. Yeah. I don't know, I think he was already making a name, he was getting an opportunity. But it never let him down, he still stepped forward. And as we go through his career, you'll see still to this day, he'll be one of the first ones to stop. If you need advice, got a question, and we'll help you. But as we get towards this settle, as we're getting to today, I want to remind a few things that happened in Jeromy Sage's career. He loved to be here. I realized that one day when we were at a wrestling show, a lady came from the stands, she had a picture of him, and she was mad. And she tore it up right. The smartest man in wrestling. He says, bet you won't do that again. Guess what she does? Well, as he's thinking, and we find out later, remember, that's his merchandise. He's selling his own merchandise, maybe this lady who went about 3 or 4 times. So I wasn't sure if she caught on or she scrambled. Either way it was there. And then I'll go on to an experience personal that happened. If you guys don't know, Jeromy Sage and I stepped out of wrestling, stepped into youth programs life, started coaching baseball for South San Antonio area. We were 1 game away from a World Series and a national championship as coaches side by side. Did that even during the wrestling time. He's a guy that said something that if you guys think this and do it right and keep your eyes up, this will stick with you for a long time. He said, true, he says, I can count on one hand who I trust with this business, and less who trust me. RCW promo, lane 4. Okay? Then, there was the time where he got mad because everybody else was getting cheered. And he got mad and grabbed the mic and said, they should be cheering me, not the guys in the back. It reminds you, you're cutting a promo from the back. Just one reminder. And then one of the best things that ever happened, and everybody understands this, we were having shows and some of the WB stars were coming down and making shows and travel with us. And I forget which arena we were in Texas. And all of a sudden, things start going. Y'all may have heard of the Headbangers. You know, I've never seen a tickle spot until that day. But he was one of the best sellers, the first I've ever seen sell a tickle spot better than anybody I've ever seen. So with all these firsts and all the things going, I'm going to give you the last statement that I remember him that I used to laugh every time. He used to say, my IQ goes down every time I'm in this place. I've used it myself. Usually at dinner with those guys, but it was all right. So with all that being said, we go back in a little history for Jeromy Sage and all of us that have been around. I want to take a step right now, because y'all didn't come here to hear me. Y'all came to hear the first ever RCW Heavyweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, please get on your feet and welcome my great friend, Jeromy Sage.
So of all the things that I've been nervous about these last few weeks before this event, I just got through one of them, and that was Ray Aikens having a live mic again. Ray, it was so awesome to hear your voice on a microphone in a wrestling event in the state of Texas, because that's where it belongs. I love it. You got through right. I called him a few weeks ago, said, man, I'm getting this really great thing. Brandon sent me into the RCW Honors. I know you live in Alabama. I know it's a lot to ask, but man, I would love it if you come down and induct me. There was no hesitation. He said, I'm there at what time, what day? He got on a 5 o'clock airplane this morning to get here, to be here to do this. That's why he's a friend. That's why he's family. And Ray, from all the boys that you called their name into these microphones for all those years, we thank you. We love you. We talk about family. Of course, if I'm going to thank people, I've got to thank my very first fan ever, and that's my sister Lacey. See, long before Jeromy Sage was in professional wrestling rings doing things, I was actually climbing on the back of couches and dropping elbows onto the face of my little sister, rewinding VHS tapes of Ric Flair matches, trying to figure out how to slap that figure 4 leg lock onto my little sister. And she never complained. She just loved being along for the ride. And then years later when I told her, I said, hey, I think I'm going to go train to be a professional wrestler. While everybody else was saying, that's crazy, that's stupid, what are you doing, that's a dumb idea, she looked me right in the eye and said, that's awesome, go for it. And I went for it, and she went with me. She was at the shows, she was selling the merchandise, she was in the front row booing her heart out at me. She was driving me home when I had yet another concussion, even pulling over on the side of the road, holding my hair to let me throw up from it, and get me to the next town. So Lacey, thank you for believing in my dream, and thank you for joining me on it. First, the family, there's a family member that I wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for her, and that's my wife, Kathy. I was dating her as we're wrapping up college, and we're talking future plans, and what I'm sure her parents love to hear that I think I want to go train with Shawn Michaels and become a professional wrestler. She said, sounds good, let's go. We moved to San Antonio. She even actually helped me get the money I needed to get started. And again, she went on that ride with me. She was making my gear, she was cleaning the blood out of puffy white poet shirts. She was massaging my back, she was making sure I was going out doing things that I needed to do to make it successful. I told her from the very beginning, I said, Kathy, if this is ever too much, if you don't like me being gone, if you don't like what I'm doing to myself and the things that I'm involved in, you say the word. I don't care if I've got the biggest show in the world coming up tomorrow. If you say the word, I'm out. She knew she had that power and she never once took it because she wanted me to make it and she was there with me the whole way. Kathy, relationships don't last in the professional wrestling business, they just don't. But we did, we survived, we thrived. We have our two beautiful children, Addison and Macy, and I can't thank you enough for letting me be here today because it's because of you and I love you. We talk about family and through songs, just like you were here earlier, guys we haven't seen each other in years, and it's hugs and it's love and it's all the support. It really is a family. We know there's millions of pro wrestling fans out there, and nowadays you pretty much know what goes on behind the scenes, but unless you put the boots on, unless you've stepped in the ring, unless you've been in the locker room, there's this feeling that you just don't understand unless you've been there, and that's why we hug and we love and we call each other brother, and because that's the experience that we've had. And it's great. And so, of course, one of those guys that he couldn't be here today, but he's a guy that I couldn't stand to begin with, but he's become one of my dearest friends. I knew him as Lance Hoyt. Of course, I also knew him as Breakdown, I knew him as Shadow, I knew him as Dallas. You now know him as Lance Archer. But he loves to tell the story of when we first met. It was the very last TWA show. We were pretty sad because we knew this was it. All right, we've been under Sean's watchful eye for all this time. It's all right, it's time to go on out. And I was booking a match with this guy, Lance Hoyt, this 6'8" dude that I can admit now I was just mad because he was so damn good looking and I didn't like that. We get into the ring, he drops it on my shoulder, I can't feel my arm, I roll out, I am pissed. I get back in the ring, I sweep the legs, I get on top, and I punch him 5 times in the face as hard as I have ever hit another human being. I was so angry. Somehow from that, we become best friends and we start traveling the road together. Years later, he's telling the story of our first match. He's like, yeah, I remember I had Sage over my head and I dropped him on his shoulder, man, he was pissed. Boy, I bowed up 10 foot tall. I said, yeah, but when I rolled back in the ring, I showed you not to do that again, right? And he just looked at me and said, really, bro? I thought you just worked stiff. He loves telling that story. But Lance, a truer friend can never be found in this business, to know that I can travel down the roads with you, that you pull me out of trouble when I tried to find it, and you be there with me all along. I'm so proud of everything that you've done in this business and continue to do across the world, so I love you. Give it up for Lance Archer, please. If we don't have these relationships, we don't have the opportunity to put those boots on and get in these rings if there aren't fans that are going to show up to the building. And so I've had the blessing to be able to wrestle in towns all over this country and all over the place, but yet the place that I called home, the place where it all started, and the place I love returning to, in my opinion, the single greatest city of wrestling fans is right here in San Antonio, Texas. You people spent years, you booed me, you called me names, some of you slapped me, you threw stuff at me, you absolutely hated me so good, and I love you for it. Thank you, San Antonio, for hating me for all those years. And so it was in San Antonio, Texas, over 20 plus years ago, that Brandon Oliver approached me and said he was going to start a wrestling company. He said he was going to start River City Wrestling. And I thought, man, that's amazing. I said, I would never have the courage to do that. There's no way I would have the courage to go out and set out on an endeavor like that. Not only did he have the courage to do that, then he had the faith in myself and my former trainer, Paul Diamond, to put us at the headline of so many of those first cards, where Paul and I feuded over and I became the first ever RCW Heavyweight Champion. And so for all that I've accomplished and all that I've done, that remains at the top of the list for me, because 20 plus years later, we see what it's become. All of those guys from all of those shows, Ray was calling our names at those places. We felt like we laid a foundation. And we didn't know it then, but now we know that these incredible men and women that wrestle for RCW now, today, have built this incredible house on that foundation. And I'm proud to have been a part of that. It's a house almost like in our house, too. Grand Event Center, tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Get your tickets. They're still out there.
Still a worker.
Always. But I will leave you with this. Again, all those years ago when I was telling people, hey, I think I'm going to go be a wrestler, very few people believed that that was something I should do, could do, would ever do. And so I went there, as Ray's described, I was in the very first class of Shawn Michaels Wrestling Academy. There were 16 guys that first class. There were 4 of us that made it to the end. Tony Z, Manny Donovan, many of you remember the green-haired referee, myself, my partner Ruben Cruz with the Board of Education. Midway through our class, we were joined by that next class, we all finished together, the class of Ryan Davidson, Brian Kendrick, Lance Cade. It was an amazing group of guys. Everybody went out and did all these amazing things. As I stand here, I may not have main evented WrestleMania like I may have always hoped to do, but I went after something that I believed in, and I did my very best to achieve it to the highest level that I could. What I'm most proud of is that I can look my daughters in the eye and tell them, hey, chase your dreams like your dad did. And so whether you're already just getting started in the business and you've got some dreams for yourself, or maybe you're just a little kid thinking maybe one day you want to do that, hell, maybe you're in your 40s and there's that thing you always want to do, you just put it aside, do it, chase it. Find people like I described today that will not hesitate to support you, pick you up and lift you up, and there's absolutely no way you cannot accomplish the thing that you did. So San Antonio, Texas, River City Wrestling, Brandon Oliver, thank you for this honor. It means the world to me. And I sincerely hope that I made you all proud. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeromy, so much for your heartfelt words. Your speech was incredible, by the way, and you're a true testament to grit, determination, and passion. We're so happy to have you here today. Now, we're going to turn our attention to our next honoree, whose accomplishments have influenced so many in Texas wrestling. To introduce our next inductee, please welcome Alfred Olivares.
Doing good. I want to thank Brandon for letting me come. One of the best. And what can I say about Alex Marrozos, guys? We can be here all day and talk about Alex. Or should I say Froggy? Everyone knows Alex Marrozos, but you know, growing up 20 years ago when I met him, he was Froggy. And why he was Froggy, I actually found out. I actually thought it was his voice. I always talking to his voice, the way he talked, but he actually told me 10 years ago, like, no, bro, so when I started refereeing, I would always be jumping over here, and I would jump over here, go for pins, and it was like, they want me to Froggy. I'm like, Froggy, okay, here we go. So, Froggy. First and foremost, like, I want to start how, you know, I met Alex. RCW was on cable, my brother became cable access. Saw this referee like all over the place. And I was always a big guy on referees, man. Growing up, I saw, you know, all the NWA referees, Earl Hebner, and I would just see this guy like all over the place, refereeing, counting, you know, doing, just being an awesome ref. I'm like, man, I want to meet that guy one day. You know, one day I'm gonna break his business. Broke into business, did some wrestling, a little wrestling, got trained by Tito Sanchez, got wrestled so hard, R.I.P. He was telling me like, hey, you know, if you want to be a good wrestler, you know, you got to learn to be a good referee. Because a referee, guys, a lot of people know it takes 3 to dance in the show, guys. You know, it's not just the wrestler, it's the referee. Alex told me that. And when I met Alex, I met him one time at, I had a show in Hotel, I believe, or it was Victoria. Marrozos actually brought me in and I was in the show. And when I saw Alex get in the car, we were picking him up. I'm like, hey, you're Alex, you're Froggy. He's all, you Mark. So, I mean, that was the first time meeting Froggy. But, you know, ever since I've been in this business, you know, he took me just so many patients, just teaching me the business, learning the ropes, understanding positioning on where a referee should be, how to position yourself, and I've learned so much from this man and being on the road with him. We showed so many memories. He's influenced a lot of referees all over the state of Texas. He's one of the best here in San Antonio, in Texas. And if I wasn't for Marrozos, I probably wouldn't have been a referee. I probably wouldn't have been in this business. He taught me so much. He's my mentor, my friend, and like I said, I consider all of them just talk about Alex because he's one of the best. But I'm gonna let him take the stage and let him tell you where he came about because you got to just hear the story. Induction to the Hall of Fame, Alex Marrozos.
I got a short speech. Referee, we don't say much, but ring the bell. Let's knock it up. Yeah. Thank you, Alfred, for inducting me. Ceremony honorees of RCW. I appreciate that very much. It was an honor going on the road with you, teaching you, showing you the ropes, how to be a ref. It takes a lot to be a ref. It's not just standing there and looking at the guys wrestle. It takes a lot, so thank you very much for inducting me. I'd like to start off by thanking RCW and Brandon Oliver for honoring me in the second class of RCW honorary ceremony with my fellow peers. And I also want to recognizing the body of work that I did at RCW over the years. And also I want to thank Raul Sports and Collectibles for hosting this event for the second year. Thank you very much. Hoping many more to come. I've been doing this for 3 decades. It's been a journey. Back when I started, it was no schools, hard to get in the business. You had to know a wrestler, be a family member, to even be trained by one. And I was luckily able to meet a wrestler's wife that got me in the business. May rest in peace, Manny Villalobos. He's still with the world now. And Manny's got a training me behind his dad's little sports bar in Bandera. And there I would hit the ropes, start practicing to be a wrestler. And we did our first show in Carrizo Springs. And he asked me, why don't you be a ref? That way you can see how we work inside. See how the guys, work and take care of each other there. And so I did. And so I put up the ring all by myself. All ring. That was the dues I had to pay for at least about a year. Didn't have any help, did it all on my own. My wife used to tell me, you don't get any help. And I was like, look, I got to do it on my own. And it took me a while. But after that, we did another show. And after the second show, I told Patty, I go, would it be all right if I want to be a ref instead of a wrestler? Kind of looked at me like, really? I go, yeah, just have fun. I was part of the show. And back then, not like now, you got many referees. I used to referee every single match in all the shows. 5 matches, 5 matches. 10 matches, 10 matches. And I had to remember everybody's spot and finish it. And on top of that, make sure that they were safe in the ring. That's, a referee job besides just counting and hitting 1, 2, 3s, making sure the guys are okay, they can still continue. In the wrestling business, let's see. Okay, I also like to thank David Cantu. David Cantu used to be a referee back in the 50s and 60s that I met along the way as I started working with Manny Villalobos. He was the referee who taught me all the rules, in which many people don't know much rules today. It's no hair pulling, no eye gouging, no fist, no below the belt. 5 on the ropes, 4 to break, 5 disqualified, outside the ring, 10. And those are the rules I used to follow. You were outside, I count you. You were on the ropes, I count you. You make a fist, I tell you, give me an open hand. I always wanted to be involved in the match, not just stand there and watch the wrestlers go back and forth. Also, I'd like to thank the guys some of the wrestlers that helped me out throughout those days. Dusty Wolf. May rest in peace, both of these gentlemen, which a lot of people in Texas know is Ken Johnson, Mad Dog. And also Harold Harrelson. Also known as Francis Alexander Gibbons. Take your seat there with everybody. But these guys helped me out, you know, when there was no really refs to teach me and guide me in this business, and I thank them very much. It's been a journey with these guys, working with them. And then after that, I also worked for Jose Lothario. And I was also with Shawn Michaels Academy. I was Shawn's referee when he got TWA started, and watched CJ and all the new students start to school and become what they became. But also want to thank, well, besides that, at RCW, besides having been Brandon's one of the first referees that he had, Brandon felt that refereeing wasn't enough for me. One night we were doing a show, I think it was Eddie. We were doing a show, and he had the opponent in the corner of the ring, and everybody started shouting, "John Travolta." And Eddie turns around and looks at me. He was like, "No, they were pointing at me because of the way I had my hair." And I'm like, "What?" So everybody chanted John Travolta. Well, after that, Brandon got an idea. He came up to me and goes, "Hey Alex, I wanted to ask you, do you mind if when you came out to the ring, you in the middle of the ring, you're dancing a Saturday night fever?" And I was like, "Brandon, I'm a referee. Why are you gonna make me dance?" But the fans kept telling that, and he talked me into it, and I do that dance. That happened to be in a YMCA, by the way. But also, I guess Brandon didn't feel that was enough for me. And he says, "I know you're a referee, Alex, but I gotta throw you in some matches." And I wind up having a few matches with, if y'all know. But yeah, being a ref, it's not an easy job. You know, you gotta take care of the guy, know some of the spots if they get lost up and down. You know the rules, know the regulations, keep time on the matches. Things of that nature. I've worked with a lot of big names in this place. I've always stayed here in San Antonio because to me this is the center spot of wrestling. San Antonio's it. I mean, but I got to work with a lot of guys, Road Warriors, you know, Sting, Mick Foley, you know, Lex Luger, just a few named guys. But I had a great time working with Brandon. It was great seeing Brandon go to Shawn Michaels Academy School, learn what he did, ref a few matches, and now look what he's built. You know, a great promotion. And I'm just happy for Brandon. A long time that he's come to this business and what he's able to accomplish. And I thank you for having me as your ref. In closing, I have to thank my family. Like CJ said, if it wasn't for my family's support, I wouldn't be in this business. My wife, my son, my daughter. Thank you so much for being my backbone and being my support through all these years. You know, and I can't thank you enough. So, and wrapping it up, thank you very much for this award. I appreciate it, Brendan. And until next time I might be in another ring, ring that bell.
Alex, your speech was amazing, and we here at River City Wrestling feel like the referee position is one of the most underrated yet pivotal positions in the sport of wrestling. And today we're so incredibly grateful to honor you and everything you've done for us. So congratulations and well deserved. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is important for RCW honors to recognize those talents inside the ring, but it is also critical to acknowledge all of our supporters throughout the year. Last year, our fan award went to the one and only Carl Belcher. This year, it's time to induct a very familiar familiar voice to all of us. To introduce our next inductee, please welcome the Chingon himself, the badass, the owner and head trainer of the Hybrid School of Wrestling, Marrozos.
And when you talk about the Texas streets, don't forget, we're the best.
And I'm not used to holding a mic. You have somebody next to me there. So you be asking, how did I get here? So Tommy messaged me a couple weeks ago and asked if I could be inducted in RCW honors. So I had to make a deal with him, you know. The only deal was if he could sit there quietly for 3 to 5 minutes while I'm here. So you're welcome, everybody. And the clock starts now. So I met Tommy in December of 2005, I think it was. There was the RCW show, of course. I was in the back getting ready for my match. And Don Juan was in the ring with Amazing Red. So I was watching this match and I was thinking, shit, how am I going to top that? You know, it's one of those things. And I was like, okay, I was wrestling with Dushimoto after that for the RCW title. So I came out, had my match. It was pretty great. But after the show, I don't know if Tommy remembered this, came up to me and was like, man, that was a great match. That was a great title match. That made me feel good about myself. And especially after trying to, you know, after Amazing Red and I won the match. So I asked him, are you going to be at the next show? But I didn't know 20 years later he'd still be coming to every show. You know, just like wrestlers, you know, after time, after years, we get better in the ring, and somehow Tommy gets louder and louder each year. Yeah. And it's true, I mean, we could be in the back and we hear Tommy and we just look at each other like, yeah, Tommy's here. And of course, he's always late. But he's been a fan for the independent scene for a very long time, 20 years. Not just, you know, one style of wrestling. He loves it all. I mean, he's one of those fans that, you know, each fan should be like, because he doesn't hide his emotions. He lets you hear what he thinks. And, you know, it's great to have him out there. So you know how WWE has the pay-per-views, you have the guys with the Brock Lesnar shirt, the green shirt guy, you have the red hat guy. Well, San Antonio has the Tommy guy. He may not always wear the same shirt or be in the front row, but you'll know when he's there because you can hear him every time. And I'm sure like people when they watch title match, which is in our house too, to be on title match if you don't get to see it tomorrow, to watch there. Another plug. But I'm pretty sure when they watch Title Match Network, they all know Tommy's at the show. Another thing, when I first started Hybrid School of Wrestling, you know, I sent a message out there and asked, should I do it? I don't know, I was always second guessing myself to start school. And he was one of the first ones to say, yes, do it. He gave me that. He was one of those encouragements to let me start this, and now he's ruining my students' lives at every show. So thank you for that too, Tommy. It wasn't just me. So again, I'm not a man of much words, but Tommy, you are appreciated by not just fans. You became a fan and you became friends. And now, in this inductee, you become family. So, welcome, Tommy, and it's loud now. And everybody boo this man while you watch that.
Okay, see, that's my counterpoint. That was my dad. You see, oh no.
ex-coach, you said mostly nice things about me. You know, that's a first. So I appreciate that. October 22nd, this is actually the first day. October 22nd, 2005. 503 Castro Road, the YWCA. That's my journey in RCW began. My sole reason for going to the show was to see the Amazing Red Line. I was a diehard, I still am a diehard Amazing Red fan. When I heard he was going to San Antonio, I was like, I gotta go. Begged my dad. It's like, hey dad, just take me to this place, it's a wrestling show. He's like, all right, I'll take it. I walked through the doors, but I had no idea what I was in for. I went for one match. And this is how far back this was. I didn't even know who Don Juan was. And I was like, who is this guy wrestling Amazing Red? He's nobody, he's gonna lose no time. Yeah, I said that. I did. And I'm glad you heard me say it in front of your face. I'm glad you heard that. But here's the thing. Then I watched you wrestle. And I said, holy crap, that guy's good. And then the main event happened. And it was the other half of Texas Streets. And I said, holy crap, both these guys are good. And if I must give the treats their due, I'll admit this. Take any tag team on the face of the card, put them against the Treats, you'll still get a 5-star match. I don't care who the team is. The Texas Treats are hands down one of the best tag teams in all professional wrestling. Better? Okay. No, you won't. But to point out, 2005, that means I've known Brandon, Don Juan, and Chris Marvel since I was 17. I hadn't even started college yet when I met these guys. And now here I am in a college degree, written the book, and still going to RCW shows. But to say that getting this award is an honor is a severe understatement. I can't express enough how much this means to me. Thank you, Brandon, and to all of our students for this. And honestly, I really don't consider myself the best fan. Carl Belcher, Steve James, those are two guys who I look up to as fans because they're two of my favorite guys to see at wrestling shows. I love those guys. But because of RCW, I made such fantastic friends, like them, like JC, like Mike, like Tina, and JC, me, and Mike continue to see on Countdown City Wrestle Pass every Wednesday, shameless plug. You got to plug your show, I'm plugging mine. But also, go to In Your House 2 tomorrow at 5 o'clock. Yeah, and if you can't watch it live, watch it on Action Network. You're welcome. I heard that. I went to RCW to see one legend, Amazing Red. I stayed because of the Treats. I stayed because of Mike Dell, Scott Summers, Ikaika. Rest in peace to Cameron Spiro Bates. Rest in peace to William Hamilton, aka Big Dog. Also feature legends like Matty Minkowski, Key Vibes, Alejandro, Weezy Woo, Scam 13, Brandon Vice, Casey Blackrose, The Pillars of Destiny, and one of my favorite announcers, Jeff Houston, and a pretty close second, David Wilson. I'm not looking at him. Also because of RCW, I had some moments that you just can't find anywhere else. It being fan lumberjack strap matches. For about 5 minutes, I was the co-commissioner of RCW. I even started a legendary feud with Lance Hoyt, who I am terrified of and will make fun of to no end to this day. I even had heat with Jeff Jarrett for about 2 or 3 months because I said one thing one time. Don Juan knows all about me saying one thing one time that makes everybody mad at me. But I'm truly honored to stand here, and especially with the inductees that are going today. Jeromy Sage, who's always been one of my favorite people to watch wrestling. Michael Faith, may he rest in peace. One of the greatest talents in any promotion. It doesn't matter if it's independent, national, doesn't matter. Michael is one of the best. Sheeva, who's one of the baddest in the ring. I don't care, man, woman, I don't care. She's one of the baddest in the ring. And Alex, who to me, hands down, is the best referee in pro wrestling. That's it. In closing, I can't thank RCW enough for all it's done for me. I've been able to go all over the country to watch wrestling because I found RCW first.
I really do agree. San Antonio is the best city for professional wrestling, and RCW is one of the major reasons for that. There have been so many legends who have been through those doors, trying to win championships, winning championships, and there are future legends who already are winning them right now and will do great things in the future. So thank you to Brandon Oliver, thank you to River City Wrestling. I really appreciate this. I can't think of enough. RCW today, tomorrow, and forever. Thank you guys so much.
Congratulations, Tommy. I think hell froze over because I saw you acknowledge the Texas streets and all the best too. That was the first and last time you guys might see that, so remember to embed that in your brain. The fans at RCW are the most appreciated here in San Antonio, but what makes fans stand out to us the most is that you guys inspire the athletes to keep showing up. You guys keep inspiring athletes to do their best and perform their best. And Tommy, you are the pinnacle of what it is to be somebody who supports the sport of wrestling. So we honor you today and you deserve it. Woo! Our next inductee is someone who has truly embodied the spirit of the RCW Women's Division. Here to make our next induction, please welcome one of the most decorated champions in the Texas wrestling scene, the Bear, Ryan Davidson.
Good afternoon, San Antonio, Texas. You know, and it broke. Thanks, Thomas. Appreciate it. I'm just kidding. It's like a cheap pop, right? Talking about, oh, the fans of this. I can honestly say, now look, it's no mistake. I'm a Houston guy, all right? I'm a Houston guy. I've wrestled all over the state of Texas, the country, Japan, Canada. But I can honestly say, and I'll admit it, so make sure you're recording this, by far, the most energetic, rowdiest group of individuals to be at a wrestling event, San Antonio, Texas. Yeah. Okay. I'm also truly honored, really honored to really be up here to not only induct Sheeva, but just be around so many people that really have paid for me to put on a pair of boots. Didn't matter if you're a referee or one of the boys or anything. Trust me, I am truly grateful for you guys to go ahead and set that standard for me. And I can honestly want to say thank you to RCW for not only letting me be a part of this, but also for being one of the main pillars of professional wrestling in the state of Texas. It means a lot. It really does. Title Match Network tomorrow, Sunday, Belltime 5 p.m. Okay. Am I doing that right? Okay, cool. Awesome. My gear bag's in the car, by the way. But it's awesome. Also, I just want to back up to, before I go into the longest rant that I can from a lady that deserves all the flowers in the world, with Sheeva. I also got to say, too, I never had a chance to work them. Hopefully that, one day it could happen soon. I can agree with you, Thomas. Texas Streets is one of the best tag teams I've actually ever seen live in wrestling. So I remember seeing you guys back in 2006 at the PCW Arena, seeing you guys, and I'm just sitting there going, man, I got a lot of work to do to catch up with these guys. You guys are awesome. And Alex, no joke, man. Definitely one of my favorite referees that have ever got to rep my match. Thank you so much for repping my matches. And very true. It's not two guys or two ladies in a match. It's one opponent, the second opponent, and the referee. And I can tell you, a great referee will make a bad match great, and another on the other side, a bad referee will make a good match man. So thank you for making my matches a lot better, just by you being a part of them. Thank you. And I'll see you on PayPal. But now, ladies and gentlemen, Sheeva, the goddess of destruction. You know, there's a lot of things that get said about pro wrestling. You know, there's opinions and this, who's the greatest, who's this, who's that, all this other stuff. And of course, you hear that thing talk about that there's only two things that are real in this business: the money and the miles, right? It's kind of true. Also, the relationships too. But then again, yeah, a lot of relationships don't last. But I can tell you, the best relationship I have with anyone in this business is with Sheeva. Absolutely is. Best decision, best woman, and she has made me a better wrestler, and more importantly, a better man, which I know has been a lot of work because of it. And I'm so grateful that she's a part of my life. But to me, it's not about the money and the miles and what's real in this business. Really, this business to me is just two things and two things only: trust and respect. That's professional wrestling. Trust and respect. And trust me, when it came to Sheeva, Kyra Maya, Sarah Frost, all these different monikers that she went with, I can tell you flat out, trust that when it came to being inside that ring, she gives you every single thing she has, bar none, and has overcome so much physical ailments, things of that nature, surgeries and what have you. And I was there at that RCW event when she went ahead and made her comeback. And I'm not going to shame to admit it, I cried seeing her come back into the ring. Because trust me, when most people would go ahead and have an injury and call it quits, and rightfully so, she has persevered more than anybody that I've ever seen in my 20 years as a professional wrestler. And it's very admirable. Also, when it comes to respect, you can't help but respect her. And here's the thing, I remember back in the day that there was maybe about 5 or 6 ladies that wrestled, not just in the state of Texas, but in all the southern states, and that was it. That was it. Sheeva was one of those ladies. So for any of the ladies here tonight that actually get to be in the squirt circle and pursue their careers, trust me when I say that if you ever get some time to just go ahead and thank anybody for their contributions to this business, thank Sheeva. Because there's a reason why there's a wonderful lady in professional wrestling, it's definitely because of her. Because she's absolutely made this business better than she can. Absolutely. So, I know I'm kind of known for going long-winded on the microphone, and I can't follow you, brother, so I'm not even going to try. So, it's awesome. But ladies and gentlemen, it is my extreme privilege and honor to induct into the RCW Hall of Fame the one and only, the goddess of destruction, my lady, Sheeva. Yeah!
I'm not gonna lie, these are so cool. These are so cool. So, I originally had a game plan, and I'm gonna get real with you. I had a game plan of what I wanted to say. I even have a few quotes, but maybe we got it. A few things that I do want to make sure that I express to you guys. However, I also did not anticipate how amazing everyone was going to be before me. And now you're left with me. So I apologize in advance because you're stuck with me for a while. Thank you, Ryan, for inducting me. If you guys don't know, he's giving me my flowers, but if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be back in the ring right now. That man has put so many hours into working with me in the ring, in the gym, and pushing me. And every single time I'm like in tears, I don't want to do it anymore. I have no drive. He somehow finds the last bit of that passion that everyone has for professional wrestling, whether you are a promoter, a referee, a wrestler, a fan. You all have that passion, and somehow you have to ignite it. And he has done an amazing job of keeping me, hey, try it again. So, my applause for Ryan. RCW. I want to give a very special thank you to Brandon Oliver and everyone a part of RCW. Whether your office, if you're a fan, a wrestler, anything like that, RCW is very special to me. I remember, okay, we won't show age, but I know it was social media. I can't remember if it was MySpace or if it was Facebook, but I remember getting a DM from Brandon Oliver going, hey, would you be interested in coming into River City Wrestling? I literally showed this email to Michael Faith and went, who is this? Right? This jerk. Yeah. And he said, why don't you make a package deal, let them know that, we can come in together, we can work out make it all work out. We ended up bringing more guys with us. And RCW has literally transformed me as a wrestler in ways that nobody could possibly understand. My look, my image, what I do in the ring has literally been the definition of evolution. Because from the very beginning of my first match with Jeromy back there, hi, I literally beat the snot out of this guy. Right? Sorry. Beat the snot out of him, right? And I got some bully girls calling me a polar bear in the back. Like, polar bear. Okay. This big old polar bear, right? And I literally just took it as fuel. Because it's like, all right, I'm a polar bear. Right? To, mind you, I'm this badass. To now I'm with Kyra and the Kongs. If you don't know who that is, you have Donkey Kong, who literally looked like Fred Flintstone, and Baby Kong, a midget that looked like Fred Flintstone, and me, who went out in leopard print. I don't own leopard print. But we became tag champs. And we defended our championship against legendary wrestlers like the Headhunters. It's insane. Can't do that anywhere else. And then it's like, hey, you know what? We're done with this one. We want you to be this way. So I learned how to shift and change and be able to work people that I would have never had the opportunity to grow with, like Alyssa Flash and Melissa Anderson. I've shared the ring with so many different people. Ray Rowe. It's insane. And I owe all of that to River City Wrestling and to Brandon Oliver. So, that being said, I am truly honored to be standing here tonight. Wrestling has truly been my passion, my life, and one of my greatest challenges. It's an incredible feeling to be recognized among these amazing individuals, and even to be put into the same category is mind-boggling to me. But to be recognized by River City Wrestling, not just as a company or an organization themselves, but as a family, I have been proud to be a part of for so long. Professional wrestling isn't just a sport. It's a way of life. And it's been one of my life's greatest privileges to step into that arena still today. I want to thank my family. Even my son is here with Michael Faith, as a matter of fact. I thank all of you guys and Ryan and everything like that. So without your guys' support and your belief in me, I would not be here today. I've given professional wrestling literally everything that I have. And honestly, it's given me very little in monetary value. Literally, like dead. But I love it. And the fact of the matter is, the true value that I have gained in terms of people and experiences are absolutely priceless. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, Sheeva, for your kind words. She's behind me, but when I think about women's wrestling, I see somebody like Sheeva as a North Star, somebody who is amazing in the locker room, can sew up your clothes if you have to, somebody to lean on. So she's absolutely deserving of tonight's award, and just like our other inductee, Jeromy Sage, these people have given their entire bodies, their lives, their blood, their sweat, all the nights that we don't even see and think about, all the tears that they've cried for the sport. You guys are more than deserving of tonight's award, today's award. Just like our other women's inductee, Pink, you guys are fantastic, so congratulations, Sheeva. Our final inductee was one of the kindest, gentlest, and biggest wrestlers ever in RCW's 2 decades. Someone that had a profound impact and effect on Texas wrestling, his family, and everyone who was surrounded by him. I would like to welcome back Sheeva and Ryan Davidson for our next inductee.
Can we get Michael Faith's son up here? Chance? Teenagers. I told you, he's going to be up here for a while. So, this is Chance. Because his mama took him. If you know, you know. Right? Hard target. Okay? That's legit how he's here. Thank you, Michael. I have a hard time coming up with the right words to say when it comes to Michael Faith. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. He wouldn't be here. He was one of my original trainers. He was larger than life, and if you knew him, he defied the logic of physics. If I told you a 425-pound man can run at a wire rope and springboard off of it and do a backflip and land on his feet, would you believe me? No. But he did it. That dubbed him the nickname, the Largador. Because he moved like a luchador, but he was big, right? He was larger than life. There is no doubt about that. He has worked for all the major companies. AEW wasn't around back then, but he definitely had traveled the world. And one of the most notable things that he had done was he had worked for Voodoo Murder and over at All Japan Pro Wrestling, where Ryan himself has also worked. And so he could tell you and give you more insight into that, but he worked alongside WWE legend, Vader. As you guys know, Lance Archer, Lance Hoyt, he's been mentioned here. Like, I'm sure his ears are burning at this point. And Haley Hatred. He had a phrase that he used pretty consistently, and it was to expect the unexpected. I can assure you that every single person that man's lives has touched never expected to lose him as quickly as we did. And it's kind of one of his little last hurrahs of, I told you to expect the unexpected. Unfortunately, we did lose him due to COVID back in 2020. And I know a lot of us have experienced a lot of loss. However, his legacy continues on with his 3 beautiful kids, his grandkids, his mother who is here, and his stepfather. And I can genuinely say that he loved working here at RCW. And if you thought anybody else talked a lot, oh no. This man can literally talk your head off for hours. So, with that being said, he's one of the main eventers that I have ever seen on an RCW roster. If you have been to an RCW show, at the very end of the show, you knew Michael Faith was coming out and he was going after a luchador mask. He was going after a monster. He was going after the guy from Australia who's trying to get his what are those bouncing things? Kangaroo? Yeah. It was no fail, and he always delivered. Sorry, we're having a briefing here. So, I'm going to give it to the most entertaining talker up here right now, so I'm going to pass off for Ryan and let him speak some few words to you about Michael Faith.
Michael Faith, man, I can honestly say, back on what Sheeva said, he definitely helped me get my start in professional wrestling, specifically in Oklahoma in 2005 when I met him. I just got through playing college football. I went to Oklahoma City to pursue professional wrestling after 1.5 years about training in Amarillo, Texas. And the first guy I met was Michael Faith. With his tag team with his brother Albert as a Forsaken back then at Mid-South Wrestling in Oklahoma City, went to Mr. Ebony Tom Jones. And I can honestly say, and back up what Sheeva said, gravity works for all of us. It did not work for Michael Faith at all. And that is no exaggeration. 400 plus pounds, 6'1". The guy could literally catwalk up onto a tightrope, twist, land on his feet, and you honestly couldn't. Whether the wrestling business was for you or for not, but Michael Faith undoubtedly made professional wrestling better. And he was a dear, dear friend. I owe him a lot. He gave me actually one of my first pairs of boots, which, embarrassingly enough, I wore for about 6 or 7 years of my career. But other than that, Michael Faith has definitely made Texas wrestling, but professional wrestling, absolutely better. I know he's absolutely missed. I know he is a pillar for RCW talent. And we're thinking about him today, and we think about him every day. And I feel honored to go ahead and share some kind words about the one and only Large Adore, aka the Samoan Beast, but the one and only Michael Faith.
On behalf of Michael Sage, I shall accept this award and honor him. Thank you.
To come up here and stand. Make sure you bring your awards with you, your beautiful awards. As we close this remarkable event, let's remember the importance of dreaming big, challenging ourselves, and believing in the endless possibilities of the human spirit. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can please give a huge round of applause for our second class of RCW honors, Jeromy Sage, Marrozos, Michael Faith, Sheeva, and Tommy Wesley.